Hi kids, it's Mr. Edovich. We're here with Elvis and the Underdogs. It should be minutes 60 to 70, but I can't guarantee that because I think I lost track, but that's what we're going to call it. So please listen in for about 10 minutes, and then you may move on with your day.
Why that much extra time? Well, 8 minutes was better than nothing as far as I was concerned. I put my backpack on the floor, sat on the toilet, and hung out. The bell rang, and soon the bathroom was filled with the sounds of boys doing boy bathroom stuff. I'll spare you the gory details. It was now 9 o'clock, and I had to head to class. It was time to face the music. Why not start in the lion's den? If I survived the boys' bathroom, I could survive anywhere. I stood up, grabbed my backpack, and then turned and glanced back at the toilet. Dino was right. My helmet was way too big to get shoved into a toilet. I put my hand on the lever and unlocked the door. Then I froze. I couldn't move. The twins always tell me I'm a big waffle. Well, technically they call me a butt waffle or waffle head, but whatever. They always say I could never be the quarterback of a football team because you have to make a decision out on the field in a half second or less, and do it with guys charging at you who want to remove your head from your shoulders. So what did it say for me that I couldn't even make a decision when I was all by myself with no screaming fans, no time clock, and no guys charging at me? I don't know how it's possible to feel brave and scared at the exact same time, but that's exactly what I felt like. Suddenly, while I was still frozen, the stall door was kicked open. It slammed right into me and knocked me down. I didn't know for sure who'd kicked the door open, but I had a pretty good guess. I was at least 90% sure it was Billy Thompson. The door slammed into my hand when Billy kicked it. A shooting pain went up my arm. I fell backward and screamed. I guess all Billy saw was my giant green helmet because he screamed in surprise too. I just yelled, "Ah!" But Billy yelled, "Alien! Monster! Don't take me!" This caused complete panic in the boys' bathroom. Everyone in the entire school knows who Billy Thompson is, and when Billy Thompson sounds scared and yells, people listen. All I heard was screaming and stall doors slamming. More than a few boys called out for their moms. Pickles McGrew, who was in the next stall, even ran out of the bathroom with his pants down. His real name isn't Pickles, by the way. It's his nickname because it's the thing he loves the most. After Billy Thompson put all those crackers in his locker, a small group of people started calling him Crackers instead of Pickles, but it didn't take. Apparently, Pickles was so scared he ran down the hall straight into Mr. Trenton, the fifth grade teacher, who happened to be holding the winning entry of the fifth grade solar system mobile competition. Grace Park had just won first prize. She's pretty much won every competition since preschool. Well, Grace Park's solar system never had a chance. I heard only 2 of Jupiter's moons came out unscathed. I'm just glad that Grace Park wasn't there to see it. She was absent because she was first chair cello in a string quartet, and they were out of town playing in the regional string quartet competition, where she was no doubt winning first place in that, too. The good news is that when I fell and my head slammed up against the wall, it didn't hurt. Giant Ugly Helmet 1, Wall 0. The bad news is that I thought my wrist was broken because it was already throbbing. When Billy jumped back in surprise after seeing my helmet, I guess he fell backward too and hit his head on the wall behind him. When I came out, he was sitting on the floor outside the stall, rubbing the back of his head. "Hey, Billy, you okay?" I asked. I may despise the guy, but I can relate to anyone who's down. I held out my good hand to see if he wanted some help up off the floor. And for a split second, I wondered if, when he accepted it, we'd immediately put all the bad blood behind us and he'd adopt me as his faithful sidekick from here on out. But instead of taking my hand, he actually spit on it, and then he kicked me in the shin. I stumbled, flew through the stall door again, and landed on the floor, narrowly missing the toilet. I was too stunned to speak. Where was this kid raised? In a barn? "Why are you so mean?" The words just came out of my mouth, and I was pretty surprised to hear them myself. Why are you so weak? Billy replied. Oh, I know. So you can go home and cry to your mommy. I was already down. Billy had already kicked me and spit on me, so I really didn't have much to lose. Plus, I was wearing a safety helmet. So I continued. I'm not weak, I'm sickly, and that's not totally my fault. But being a jerk is definitely. Billy got up on his feet and stood over me. I shut my mouth. I squeezed my eyes shut and prepared for the pummeling I was probably about to receive. Note to self. Trying to reason with a jerk can actually make the jerk jerkier. Luckily, someone came into the bathroom before Billy could prove my new theory. Apparently, Grady the janitor had volunteered to check for alien monsters in the boys' bathroom to calm everyone down. He found Billy standing over me. What's going on in here? Grady asked. Billy answered before I could. This helmet head freaked out and fell on his face. I was just about to help him up. I just stared up at Billy. How could he lie so easily? Grady was no fool, and he knew better than to trust anything coming out of Billy's mouth, so he looked down at me for confirmation. Suddenly I was faced with one of those moments of truth you come up against as a kid. I could either tell the truth and hope for justice, or I could keep my mouth shut and hope that if I didn't poke the bear and make it even angrier, I'd get out of fourth grade at some point. Alive. Guess I fell down. Somehow. I stammered. You know that expression you hear about how the truth hurts? Well, I figured maybe it wasn't the best day to get hurt any more than I already was. Well, don't just stand there. Help the kid up, Grady said. You help him up. I'm late for class. Billy turned and walked out of the bathroom. Grady watched him go, shaking his head and muttering something that I didn't catch, but I'm sure it was something you're not supposed to say about a kid. I held up my one good hand. Hey, Grady, do you think you can help me up? I hurt my arm. Did Billy do this to you? That kid is no good with a capital N and a capital G. He grabbed my good hand and pulled me up on my feet. Kinda. It was partly an accident because Billy freaked out when he saw my helmet. But then he kicked me afterward. So much for the saying, don't kick a man when he's down. Yep, that sounds about right. I just don't understand why he's so mean. Grady patted my shoulder. There are always a few really mean kids out there. So what's up with that helmet thing you're wearing? Is it to protect you from Billy? That was actually a pretty funny idea. Maybe I should start a business selling anti-bully helmets. No, it's a long story. We've all got one. Grady nodded. By then, Principal Kreisky had been alerted, and I heard someone outside in the hallway yell out, Principal Kreisky, over here! 2 seconds later, he walked into the bathroom. Taking one look at my arm, which was already swelling up around the wrist, he made a face and shook his head. I knew exactly what he was feeling. Complete and utter dread. Now he had to call my mom and tell her to meet us at the emergency room. Grady volunteered to drive me, but Principal Kreisky said he thought it would be better if he did it, mainly because Grady has a pacemaker. I think he was nervous my mom's reaction would be the end of him. I'd never been in Principal Kreisky's car before. I was pretty excited and asked to ride in the front seat. Benji, I'm going to try to get you back into your mother's care without further incident.
And that's where we'll stop for today. Hopefully, you're enjoying the story. I know that I am. And you are free to move on with your day. Have a great one. Thanks. Bye.